Hello, and welcome to this filmmaker's commentary on the absolute... I just don't know how to explain this one. On Revenge Solves Everything. Yeah, not looking forward to this one. I think I'm pretty much just going to go off on one, really. There's not going to be much reference to what's going on screen, so here goes nothing, I guess. So, Revenge Solves Everything is I guess it's a thriller / horror, because it is kind of a unknown figure hunting down people, about students going on a camping trip but run into a former student suspected of killing his sister, who now goes on a killing rampage, or something along those lines. I don't even understand the story. It's absolutely full of plot holes and narratives that don't lead anywhere. It's an enigma to me. I don't know. Well, there's more explaining to be doing why we went with this idea. So, there was a crew of 5 initially, but this is where sort of our first problem arises, pretty much. We had major problems with one crew member because they almost absolutely contributed nothing at all to the project. And also turned up high on set, and then completely dropped out of university without telling the rest of us at all, whilst we were in production. So we just randomly lost a crew member, and we didn't know about it. I guess not much was lost with that crew member because, as I said, he didn't do anything, so it's just up to the 4 of us to continue it on. But it is safe to say, in my opinion, and I never like to be negative about these short film projects and the cast and crew involved, that this short film was doomed from the start. It really was. It's just, if we look at the ideas that we were coming up for this module in pre-production, right at the very start, I have to say they weren't all that great to start with anyway. There was an idea about a bomb going off in a library. Certainly sounds interesting, but it would have been just... I guess that we could have worked with that, but there was also an idea that was a sort of gypsy curse horror. We'll get back to that one in just a moment. This sniper short as well, and this one is from the guy who dropped out, a skinhead bank heist. Now that certainly sounds an awesome Guy Ritchie-esque film to make, but the problem with all of these is that just knowing that we couldn't make these short films justice at all. They were all way too advanced and big budget for a group of uni students in their first year of filmmaking to properly pull them off. There was no way we were going to do any of that, and this is why I think this short film suffers as well. All of the ideas I had, just to sort of save myself a little bit, were kind of very small little projects that we could do on the uni campus or in a single location sort of thing that we could pour tons of detail into and not worry about all these narrative threads that go unanswered specifically in this short film. But going back to that gypsy curse idea, I do remember producer Stephen on this short film came up with that idea, calling it the Killer's Kiss, which was already a little bit odd sounding name. And the way he was explaining it to me, I remember, was just too silly that I shut it down. It involved things like characters finding lipstick kiss marks on things like rocks or something along those lines. But looking back now, I think we could have actually developed that idea into either an interesting horror like It Follows. I'm sure lots of people have seen It Follows and how that does horror, or in the very least turn that Gypsy Curse Killer's Kiss idea into a horror comedy. I thought that could have been a good, horror comedy looking back at it. But no, we somehow ended up with the student sniper story. As you can already tell, there's not much I really like about this short film. I do think the opening is probably the only best part, along with the props that were available to us. But again, I'll come back to that in a little bit. There's a shadow of the boom mic in that shot. And earlier on, though, you could see the tripod in the background. That was just... what? I mean, we all should have noticed that, but we didn't. And one thing that I tried to sort of do as sort of... I guess I was appointed director. I didn't really want to be director on this short. The only way I thought we could turn it into something interesting was to have this juxtaposition of this horrible shooting or this situation set amongst the calm open fields. But even then that didn't work, because you can hear the rush of a distant motorway in the background, and obviously we have these weird derelict buildings in the middle of the field. So it was a good setting, but it was also warned to us before. We should have took the advice that these are just always used as in the student films around Winchester. So we should have just done something different. Other negatives, I guess, were like the sound. It clearly isn't that great. We get lots of wind picked up, and characters' voices aren't as loud as they should be in some parts, and then too loud in other parts. The sound effects are okay. Music is okay. The radio reports were alright. That was me in the opening doing the radio report with my voice pitched down, it sounded like. And at the end, you'll see here in just a moment, Stephen does the end report. But oh god, this camera work. Speaking of which, I was apparently appointed cinematographer on this project, and I may have used the camera a couple of times, but I certainly was not the cinematographer. Oh, and then this bit's just... his gun jams... his gun jams allowing for the opportunity to hit him is... it's just so silly. I mean, the editing is okay as well, I'd say. VFX, for the most part, is okay, but this part... oh, God, this part is so annoying. This grenade ending is so stupid. I was absolutely adamant that we should have like the orange glow of the explosion seen on the actor at the end in like a single shot, with the sound effect off screen obviously to suggest it. But instead we've got this awful VFX shot, and it just doesn't work. It's infuriating. And to top it all off, we have this weird credits music. Like, it sounds happy. Like, oh, hooray, yeah. Sure, maybe we had one guy escape the sniper, but all of his friends are dead. And it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. There's so much of this short film I'd like to forget. But now I seem to have... almost immortalised it amongst all of the other short films being released on this channel. But at least it can go down as an example of what short film not to make, about students going on a camping trip only to be killed by another student who inexplicably, and this goes back to the props, however great those props are, but the story is essentially telling us there is a former student who manages to have like a military sniper rifle, a pistol, and the absolute worst of all, has a bloody grenade. It's ridiculous, but oh well. That's Revenge Solves Everything. Glad to get that one over and done with. Next week, it's my second documentary I was a part of, Rebecca, and I can assure you it's much, much better than the mess that Revenge Solves Everything is. So, thank you for watching this sort of rant, I guess, and I'll see you next time. Bye!